this is a late video, right? It's later than normal. But I was just thinking, and I said, am I being fair just a bit about Alpine and everything that they've been doing? And I think the answer is yes. But I also, while thinking about that and coming up with, yeah, I'm being fair, I had to also consider that Alpine also probably want to not be the only team left out. And what I mean by being the only team left out is, we've watched, and I think that most of us could agree that indeed Haas and literally Williams have done a lot, right? They've done a lot. Haas and Williams have literally made accomplishments. They've made progress. They've managed to change some of our perspectives about them as a competitive team. What's going on, Paul, in the live chat? What's up, my brother? What's up? And so when I'm thinking about this, I said Alpine don't want to be the team. They don't want to be the Haas. They don't want to be the next Haas, because Haas is definitely making progress. Now, how much progress they're going to actually make, I don't know. Dave's Crotcho second in the live chat. But what I can tell you is Williams has made a considerable amount of progress. And what did Williams do? They went through a debacle of changing of team principles, right? They did that. We had Cap. He was all whatever. It's just that didn't really work out. And so, had Claire step down. We had Williams go through being acquired by an American finance company in Doyleton Capital. Williams went through a tremendous amount of turmoil where it almost looked like they were literally not going to be a team anymore. Paul in the super chat says, finally got a notification, smash the like button, peace and love. Yo, YouTube sucks, man. YT sucks for that, bro. That sucks. We have to celebrate you finally getting a notification, man. It's not your fault. I'm telling you, they be tripping. But yeah, Williams, it was almost to a point where we thought Williams wasn't even going to be in Formula One anymore. They had to sell the team and do all types of financial changing to get their people paid and to keep the staff. And, and we were all kind of wondering who's behind it. So what I'm saying is, although things look bad with Alpine for the past 2 seasons, we saw Zach Otmore get out of there. He was out of there. We saw Rossi making all types of public statements that definitely weren't positive for the team. He's out of there. We saw that. We had Gasly and Ocon together. That was a diabolical, horrible drivers pairing. And then we saw Ocon get shafted out of there, shipped out of there, and Gasly stays. We've seen them go through changes, right? We've seen them go through these situations. And what I thought about Alpine is, why should I think anything less or anything more horrible about them trying to flip-flop around the deck until they finally fall back into the water? If you ever went fishing, dropped a fish, the fish is just flip-flopping, it looks horrible, looks like he's dying, and then finally he hits the ledge and he falls in the water, he's home free. That's kind of what Alpine is doing now. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, but it doesn't mean it will turn out bad. Mechanic Mercedes say, again, Alpine taking over is funny. I never said, listen, man. I'm not saying that they could take over, but I'm saying that I don't want to diminish or tell them what they can never do. Because let's be clear. Let's be clear. They have been at the top of Formula One before. Let's just keep that clear. Right? Renault has been at the top of Formula One before. Let's not act like they haven't. They literally have been there before. Okay, Williams has been there before. So it almost be like, so I'm not saying that they will. I'm not thinking they can. I'm just saying that it ain't impossible. It's not impossible. They're going to switch to a Mercedes. Now, my problem with Alpine is this, and Renault as well. It's the guy that you have basically standing out front like the Jerry Jones figure. That's one of my problems. I don't care for him as a person, as an individual in the sport who participated. And Flavio Briatore has been accused and found to be cheating for more than once. Does anybody remember the whole software scandal that happened in like 94? I mean, Dawn didn't do well, but we can talk about, hey, brother, hey, man, let me tell you something. While you in here, you know, me and Mechanic got a bet. He thinks that Jack Dawn is way better than Franco Colapinto, which the numbers don't support that, but we got a bet $100 that Franco will finish higher than 13th at some point in time during his stint with Alpine this year. So we'll see. I agree with you. Jack wasn't doing nothing. But I just don't agree with Flavio. Okay, he's been accused and found to be cheating in more than one instance than the Crashgate situation. But he's a very shrewd operator. And I cannot disagree with factual evidence that Renault, now Alpine, had some of their best moments when Flavio was involved with the team. And that's true. 2020, 2005, 2006, champions. Third place. Their best stint in Formula One involves Flavio. I can't disagree with that because it's a fact. So them bringing him back, last Renault was at the top. Moses. Oh my gosh, bro. This man is wilding. The last time Renault was at the top, Moses celebrated his Sweet 16. That shit is crazy. Was he in the sandals or was he barefoot, bro? That is crazy. Mechanic Mercedes, bro. That's probably one of your best ones yet, bro. That was good. And you're not wrong. You're not too far wrong. You know, Ferrari, that's wild. But man, look, that's funny as hell. But yeah, so I do understand why they would want to bring him back, why they feel as if it's possible if he's involved that he can help right the ship, because when he was involved, the ship was doing well. But let's not forget, he got caught cheating again. So is this going to be the third time? And really, if it does, it should be 3 strikes and you're out. He had the software situation. Then he had Crashgate. If Flavio Briatore gets found to be cheating in some way with Alpine when they get the Mercedes power unit, or even in this year, because he's assuming team principal roles, I don't think he should ever be allowed to even attend a Formula One event. That's how I feel about it. Is that before or after parting the Red Sea? Yeah, that is a good question, Mechanic Mercedes. Is that before or after parting the Red Sea? Because if it was after, that's one hell of a celebration. If it was before, it was a celebration, but it was kind of like, we still got a lot of things to do. So that's a good question, Paul. So I'm just saying, I don't agree with that, but I do understand why you want to bring somebody back in the building. But we see this a lot of times sometimes in American football, where teams are we've seen it with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is an excellent example. You bring Aaron Rodgers into the building, you're bringing a lot of baggage into the building. You're bringing in his whole situation, his arrogant attitude, his I'm not going to be here for this. I'm going to do this. I got to control this. You need to get me this player that's not going to perform just because I'm comfortable with him. And you're still hoping that Aaron Rodgers can bring you a Super Bowl while he hasn't done that ever again since his last time. While Aaron Rodgers hasn't had a real high-performing season besides his MVP season, while he's been to the Jets, while Green Bay Packers got him out of there, now he's free-floating around trying to see where he might go in the Jets out of there. People feel the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing with. They feel like he was great at one point in time and he did a championship. Maybe he could do it for us. Maybe that's what Alpine feels with Briatore. Maybe they feel like, listen, he was with the team, he was great, got him a championship. Maybe he could do this for us. That's that. Now, it set him back a lot because I was thinking about the driver pairing situation. Gasly and Ocon, I knew that was never going to work. They've been this way since kids. They haven't messed with each other. And it wasn't just on the track issues. That situation on the track as kids translated and correlated over to real personal issues off the track. They weren't hanging. They weren't taking pictures. That was not a good. Mechanic Mercedes Super Chat say, bro, you want to cut cost of your company. Person has worked for you 6 days and cost 1.2 million. Person 9 days and close to 5 million. Who you firing? Wait a minute. Wait. First of all, you're assuming that the person that's only worked for 6 days, that by 9 days, they're not going to have cost me $5 million. That's what you're assuming. What we do know is Franco Colapinto did not run up a tab of $5 million within a 6-race period. We do know that. So that example, because I know, bro, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. See, because you're trying to cut time off. So you're assuming that Doohan is not going to wreck anymore when he already wrecked 2 times. 2 times. He's already wrecked 2 times. So you're assuming giving him another 3 events that he won't wreck again. Nah, I don't know about that. I could fire the $5 million guy, and the next 3 events Jack Doohan go out there and cost me $6 million. Nah, that don't work. That don't work, bro. That don't work on me. Good try, though. Good try. Got to give you your effort. Good try. Paul in the super chat says, I wish they could have given Doohan more time, but I also understand they can't keep rolling, racking up damage costs. I feel like, right, exactly. And I'm going to say this. Why would I care about another company's price tag? See, because Mechanic Mercedes, that's not Alpine's money. Colapinto didn't cost Alpine any money. So that's not my company. So I don't care about that. I care about what Colapinto does in my company. And right now in my company, Jack Doohan hasn't done anything, and he's already costing me like $1 million. So Colapinto hasn't ran up a tab in Alpine. So I don't even care about that. Good business, man. Okay, whatever you did over there is whatever you did over there. Let's see what happens here. Just saying. I'm just saying. That ain't cap. That's facts. That's facts. You tried to skew it because you tried to say 3 more events Jack Doohan wouldn't wreck the car when he already wrecked 2 times in 6 events. Come on, bro. I already showed you numbers. That's not going to work on me. You're going to have to try something else. You got to try harder than that. But anyway, driver pairing, and Paul, to yours. I agree with them giving Jack Doohan more time, right? But Paul, would you not agree that right now Alpine's playing with house money? Right? They're 1 up from last place. Jack Doohan hasn't bought 1 single point. So also, Mechanic Mercedes, while Jack Doohan's costing me $1 million something, he hasn't brought 1 single point to the team, while Franco Colapinto hadn't wrecked yet in 6 races, and he bought me 5 points. So I'm just saying right now, Alpine's playing with house money where they can afford to see where these drivers are. Give this driver 6 races, give this one 6 races, decide by the 12th round, which is halfway in the season, which one of these drivers seems like the most upside, and we put that driver in the seat for the remainder of the season, which is 12 races, which means that driver would have had 18 races, which is 75% of the season. That's how I feel about it. There we go. Paul says he feels better. They're not cutting costs with Colapinto. What do you mean? They don't have to cut costs. He hasn't costed them anything on the track yet. They don't have to worry about cutting costs. He hasn't cost them anything in repairs because he hasn't been driving. Jack Doohan has already costed them money in repairs, and Jack Doohan hasn't brought them any points for Constructor Championship that would improve their chances of getting more money. That's what we do know. From a business standpoint, that's what we're talking about. Be honest is being honest. Did Franco okay, you want to be honest? Then answer this question. Has Franco Colapinto cost Alpine any money in repairs? Yes or no? Yes or no? You want to be honest? Let's be honest. Yes or no? Has Franco Colapinto cost Alpine any money in repairs for a car in a Formula One race? Yes or no? See, now when you say this, be honest, we about to get down to it. Yes or no? Go ahead. I'm waiting, Mechanic Mercedes. I'm waiting because we're talking business. This is the business. We're in Alpine business. We're not in Williams business. We're in Alpine business. So has Colapinto cost Alpine anything right now? Since we're talking business at Alpine. And Paul, feel free to get in this too. Lord Chaos, feel free to get in this too. Okay, so the answer is no. Since you haven't answered, the answer is no. We're not talking about Williams. We're talking about Alpine because we're in the business of Alpine. We're not in the business of Williams. Franco Colapinto is not driving for Williams. He's driving for Alpine. Don't talk about what happened at Burger King while we at Zaxby's. We're talking about Alpine. Has Franco Colapinto cost Alpine any money in crashes during a Formula One race? Yes or no? And Franco Colapinto is going to bring way more sponsorship dollars and fandom money to Alpine than Jack Doohan is. That's for sure. So the question is, since we're in the business at Alpine, has Franco Colapinto cost Alpine any money in crashes for Formula One? Yes or no? You said be honest, so be honest. Thank you. Somebody be honest. Since my bro said be honest and he can't even answer the question honestly, he's still talking about shit at Williams. No, the answer is no. The answer is no. So the next thing is this. Has Jack Doohan cost Alpine money in repairs on their Formula One cars? Yes or no? Because you want to talk business, so we're talking business at Alpine. Franco, so Jack Doohan has cost them money in repairs in races and in events before the race. So now my question is this. 6 races as of right now, how many points has Jack Doohan contributed to Alpine to assist them in getting more money in the Constructors' Championship? Does anybody want to answer that question? How many points has Jack Doohan contributed to Alpine? Since we're talking business at Alpine. Oh, okay. You can't answer the question honestly. When people say be honest and then you ask them a question and they can't give you the answer to the question, that means they already know the answer and they know they screwed. Because I asked you a direct question. I asked you how much Franco costed Alpine because we're not worried about Williams. We're at Alpine right now. That's our business. Our business is Alpine, not Williams. We're at Alpine. So the thing is this. Yes, we would like to see Jack Doohan get more time, but he's not right now. You see, you still haven't answered the question, so I know you cooked, bro. I know you cooked. You cooked. And you want to talk about past. Okay, check this out, y'all. This is where I'm finna bust my bro up. Check this out. I'm finna bust you up real quick. I'm gonna bust you up real quick. Because you want to talk about past record check. Okay, let's check the records. Let's check the record for a matter of fact. Let's do that. As a matter of fact, because I gotta do you in, bro. I gotta do you in. Because you talking about check the record. So we already know, yes. So as a matter of fact, since we want to check background records and we want to talk about potential in drivers, because that's what we're talking about. How many 24 drivers participated in events last season? Your boy Jack Doohan was 24th with 0 damn points, while Franco Colapinto got 5 points and was 19th. While you also want to talk about facts, since we're sitting here talking about that, let's talk about something else. We do know Jack Doohan in 6 races hasn't done crap. We do know Franco Colapinto did 5 points and did 19th in the driver. So what are you saying? You keep trying to make this argument for Jack Doohan, bro, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work for you. And you still haven't answered my question honestly, so that's why I know you cooked. I asked you a yes or no question, and you still ain't answered that yet. I asked you, how much money has Franco Colapinto costed Alpine on the track? You still ain't answered that. So until you answer that question, it don't even matter, bro. You talking about being honest, you can't even be honest with an answer. I get it, but Doohan still a little frustrated and new. True. Colapinto been around now a bit longer and be more calm and settled. Now, I won't say loud. Now, wait a minute. I'm not going to say that Colapinto's been around a lot longer because actually Jack Doohan's been around just as long as Colapinto has, right? They both had active. Now, what it is Colapinto got some more time in the car than Doohan didn't get. That's what happened. And see, that's why I say that Mechanic Mercedes is a little skewed on that because we see what Jack Doohan already did with 6 racing events. What would have happened had he did 9 last season? Right now, what we know is he did 6 and he hasn't done much. By time Colapinto had 6 races last season, he already brought the team 5 points and he didn't have an accident yet. And they better, okay. All right. So you still ain't say yes or no. So you still didn't say yes or no yet. I got you. So we talking about driver parents. That's my brother right there. That's my brother. But I know when you cook right there because you still ain't answered the question honestly. You said be honest. I asked you an honest question. You still haven't answered that question honestly. He's not the car yet. Okay, I got you. Okay, yeah, but what we do know is this, y'all. Let me tell you what we do know. While he's not in the car yet, this is what we do know. I can tell you that. What we do know is that Where's our bro? Where's our bro at? What we do know is this. This is what we do know. Jack has been in 6 events and he got 0 points to show for it. He hasn't placed higher than 13, and he's crashed the car twice in 2 events. Not to mention free practice and qualifying. That's what we do know. That's what we do know. So you can't sell me on saying, yeah, but you know what? Your boy had 9. You trying to act like Jack Doohan wouldn't crash in another 3 events when that's quite possible that he would, because he has. He's crashed or had contact collision with other cars in 4 out of the 6 events. In about 4 out of the 6 events, Jack Doohan has had contact or crashed a car. That's 66%. 66% of the season, he's managed to damage the car. Right here. As a matter of fact, here's a nice big picture of it. There's a nice big picture of it right there. That's what your boy Jack Doohan is doing out there. But anyway, so driver pairing, I'm not mad at Alpine trying to figure that out. Alpine are also trying to figure that out. They're trying to figure out the front office. They're trying to figure out team principal. They're trying to figure out what's going to be the best driver pairing for them. They're trying to figure all this out because when they get the Mercedes power unit, they want to be able to have some type of resemblance of progress that Williams and Haas have shown us. And that's what they're fighting for. Alpine is fighting to do that. They're already stepping down as a works team to a customer team. And I agree with doing that because Renault power units typically don't have a good reputation in Formula One. I remember one time Danny Rick I was like, these are smoke bombs. I just knew in a race, I was going to see a Renault power unit let go. I just knew I was going to see one smoking up the track. It was just almost a given that every event, you could probably put money on it, and 7 times out of 10, you'd win your money if you said a Renault power unit will fail during this race weekend. And you probably would win your money. I give you 2. I already gave you option. I'm not answering your option till you answer my option. That's what I got to say. Answer my question honestly first, and then I'll answer your question because I gave you an option. Has Franco Colapinto cost Alpine any money on the track? That's what I asked you. When you answer that question, I got you on the question. Has 6 races, 1.2 damages. The other 9 races, $5 million. Okay, you still talking about the pad. We don't care. We're in business at Alpine. We're not in business at Williams. We're at business at Alpine. We're not in business at Williams. We're at Alpine. So if you were in a board meeting talking about another company, when we're talking about our company, you might as well just go over to that company. We in business for Alpine, not Williams. So talk to me about Alpine business. What's up, Buck Dollar Puro? I see you, bro. So that's what Alpine is trying to do, man. And I'm for them trying to do it. I just don't know if the way they're doing is going to work. I completely don't support the Flavio Briatore, although I understand what they're hoping to get out of there. He's a shrewd operator. He's a so-called businessman, but he's been caught cheating more often than not, and that's not good for anybody's image. And if he gets caught cheating again, and I'm going to tell you like this, he's done it enough to the point where I can't even say he won't do it. He didn't. Oh, no. Oh, but wait a minute. Okay. So, no, he hasn't cost him any money. Has Jack Doohan cost him money? Yes. Yes, he has. So while Jack Doohan has cost him money and hasn't brought a point, I'm not mad at Alpine for giving Colapinto an opportunity. Because I'm going to ask you all this. Chat, I'm finna put a poll in the chat. I'm finna ask y'all this. During the time when you saw Colapinto in the Williams, and now that you've seen Jack Doohan in the Alpine, whose time in the car look more promising? Did Colapinto look more promising, or does Jack Doohan look more promising? Think about when Colapinto was in the car driving at Williams while he got 5 points in 6 races. Doohan driving in the Alpine, who seemed like, you know what? That driver's more promising. Is it Colapinto or is it Doohan? Here go your answer right here, Mechanic Mercedes. Here go your answer right here. Here's the business decision. We're in a board meeting. Everybody here is in the board. Please vote. Everybody here is in the board. Who seemed like a more promising candidate? When you watched them with the eye test, you saw them driving with the eye test. We're in a board meeting right now, Mechanic Mercedes. It ain't Cap. They're voting for it in the poll. You can say Cap all you want. People are telling you right now in the poll. You can even vote. 71% say Colapinto passed their eye test. Colapinto looked like the more promising driver. It's right here in the poll, bro. Right there in the poll. So if this was a board meeting and we were having to make a decision, there's your answer, 75%. Now, this is not to say that Colapinto won't get in the seat and Colapinto won't mess up, because I'm fully aware that he had some incidents too after 6 races and he brought points. So I'm not saying he won't wreck the car. I'm not saying that he won't have a situation, but what I am saying is this: while we're at Alpine and I know Jack Doohan has already wrecked up the car, I'm going to give him the same opportunity in 6 races to show me what he's got, see what happens. Does he bring us points? Does he bring the car home? Does he not have as many incidents? And if he does, I'm in full support of them taking Colapinto's ass out of the seat and saying, you know what, Jack Doohan, but I can tell you, a lot of people think Colapinto's a better driver. A lot of people look and say Colapinto looks like he has more upside. And we'll see what happens. Hey, okay, so you telling me that everybody in the live chat don't mean nothing? The poll ain't it? What do you mean? You telling me that everybody in the live chat that voted, you telling me that their opinions don't matter? That they don't watch Formula One like both me and you watch. They didn't see Colapinto drive. They didn't watch Jack Doohan drive. If you're going to sit up here and tell me right now, Mechanic Mercedes, with a straight face, that you watching Jack Doohan driving Alpine right now look more promising than Colapinto driving in Williams, bro, I know you're full of cap. I know you're capping. I know that you are capping. If you telling me that Jack Doohan looked like he had more promise driving the Alpine than Colapinto when he was driving Williams, you're capping. Come on, bro. Keep it a buck. I'm not saying Jack Doohan can't be good. I'm not saying he can't in progress. I'm not saying he can't get better. I'm not saying Colapinto's the best driver. I'm not saying Colapinto won't have accidents. I'm not saying Colapinto. Thank you. This is pretty much everybody's opinion. It's pretty much everybody's opinion. No, that's that now right there, bro. That's unfair as hell. I'm mad you would. Why would you say that, man? Why would you say Wolfpack family gonna side with me? No, they looking at the eye tech. Come on, bro. Oh man, you begging to try to win. Now I know you capping. Now I know you capping, bro. Now I know you cap. I ain't even gonna pay attention to that. I know you capping now. You basically just told Paul that he gonna throw a vote just because of me. You basically told Dave's Quattro he gonna throw a vote just because of me. That Annan gonna throw a vote just because of me. Come on, bro. You capping that Lord Chaos and Buck Dollars and Miss Dino gonna throw a vote. Come on, bro. You capping now. Now you mad because the argument is not really holding water and you just trying to throw things out there. Come on, man. They free to think on their own. They free to think on their own. For you to just try to say that, that's crazy. That's disrespecting your family, really. You really disrespecting your family. You kind of saying your family's mindless. You kind of saying like, oh, y'all just gonna vote whatever Jay say. Then when I know that that's not true, because they've not agreed with me on plenty of things right in the live chat. That's guy, die, bro, guy. I see you. No. You ain't getting it. You ain't getting it, bro. You're not getting it. So anyway, y'all, I'm really interested to see what Colapinto's gonna do. I am also interested to see what Alpine's gonna do when they get the Merc power unit. And I don't trust Flavio Briatore. I don't trust him at all. I know Alpine, Renault had their best times with Flavio, but I don't trust him. I think even with the best times, he brought that team down because he cheated with the crash gate. He cheated with the software situation. He's a cheater. Okay, he's an underhanded, tactical, business type person that will stab you in the back for a buck. I don't trust him. I think that's going to be Alpine's downfall. I think if they do have some success, that it's quite possible that it will be diminished because Flavio will have done something that will be unbecoming to the sport. And I think that would drain the team of any type of promising energy that they had and will set them back some. This is cookout fake. This is how we do it at the cookout for real though. This is how we do it at the cookout. We right in the middle at the table. Everybody looking like they going at it again. They going at it again. They going at it again. Getting that plate in. At the end, we gonna hug it up anyway. That's my bro. Mechanic Mercedes, that's my bro. None of y'all better think that me and Mechanic Mercedes got no problem. This is what we do. We like siblings. We're like siblings. We can wrestle in the middle of the living room and go outside and make sure ain't nobody gonna get beat up on because we gonna trust each other. So yeah, for sure, we'll see what happens, y'all. But we're gonna be end up talking. We're gonna have a Wolves Den this weekend, so I want to hear what y'all think about the Alpine. I want to hear what y'all think about a lot of the things we're gonna talk about. And yeah, I know it's a lot of Max fans trying to throw out this Max thing about him saying something about 7-time world champion, 4-time world champion in first. Only one person is in first. You got out your truck. Lewis Hamilton's car was already there. He was in first. You second. If you're not first, you last. So that is that. But that's just throwing a little shade. I'm just playing. But that is cool that he said that. Lloyd Chaos in the super chat says, mechanic, we all voice our own opinions, and you know that, bruh. You the one that's capping. I ain't agreeing with Jay on a couple drivers. Like, yeah, Rick. Yeah, you did agree with me on Rick, Danny Rick. I was off on that Danny Rick thing, man. I thought Danny Rick was gonna come back and do something. You was right about that. And then he said, Sainz. We had a debate about Sainz. I still think Sainz was better, but you know, I understand about the Charles Gasly. I ain't never really care about Gasly though, bro. Gasly, I think Gasly ceiling is here. I don't think he gonna be that great. He said he was gonna be a champion. I don't think he ever be champion. Yuki, you know I'm with Yuki. I'm with Yuki on that. And more ain't no ain't no Shio here, bro. For sure. Even on F1 minute. Mechanic Mercedes, I agree with Dave. Compare them in the same car. We're about to be able to do that. But going by record, we're about to be able to do that. So Jack Doohan got 6 races. That's what we're doing. That's what's about to happen. We're about to see what's going to happen. We're about to see what Colapinto's going to do for 6 races or so in the Alpine. And if he does well, he's going to get more. We're literally about to see what Jack Doohan did, what's nothing. 0 points with incidents. Now we're about to see what Colapinto will do in that time or his time in the seat with Alpine. So we're literally about to see that. That's true. I think this may be the wake-up call. And Paul, that is a very good point, bro. That is a very good point, right? Because if losing your dream job is not enough to motivate you to tune in and do whatever you have to do to become a better driver for this team, I don't know what else will. If sitting back looking at another driver get in a car and a seat that you were getting in doesn't make you say, you know what, I got to get in the sim. I got to do whatever I need to be a team player. I need to be better, because when I get my next opportunity, if they take Colapinto out and say, hey, Jack, we need you to get back in, I want to show them during that time while Colapinto was in, I became a better driver and a better person to help lead this team higher up the Constructors' Championship. I agree with that. I want to see both drivers do well, but the truth is only one of them can have the seat, and I want the one who shows the most promise to get the seat. That's it. That's it all day long. All day long. So we'll see what happens there. I love y'all much, man. This is always fun. See, I needed this. This is why I got on, because I was sitting up like, man, it's been a hard day. Been a hard day. I got some energy. I got a little time. I'm finna get on, do a live with the Wolfpack fam, and I can always count on my bro Mechanic Mercedes to wake me up even more with some sibling bickering and battering debate, brother. So I love you and I appreciate it. Lord Chaos, you already know what's up. He didn't get fired. Yeah, he just got exactly. He just got demoted to reserve driver. And I'm glad he's not. Now, had they fired Jack Doohan, I would have been totally against that. I'd have been totally against that, bro, because that would have been completely, to me, unfair to fire him like that. You're not even a team that's in a position where another driver wants to come there, and you're already trying to. That's why I said Alpine kind of reminds me of the Cleveland Browns. They never let anything really settle into place and try to work on it so much. They're doing so much frantic, knee-jerk moves. I'm not saying it can't work, but it just comes off as like you're not giving yourself time to grow. And I do agree Jack Doohan could have been given more time. And then Franco Colapinto, if not, then you come in next. But I also agree that Alpine's in a position where they can afford to give that driver 6 races, give this driver 6 races. Whoever does the most out of those 6 races will get the last 12 races of the season. I agree with that. Is that not okay to say? Is that not? I love you too, bro. You know that. I love you too, bro. You already know. We locked in. Man, he done put me to sleep, Jay. I mean, that's cool to say, man. So we're going to get back in here. We'll be back in the lab. Y'all already know we're going to chop it up again. Wolves Den coming up this weekend. Be there. Don't be square. I'll post it. I'm about to get out of here, chill out. Mechanic Mercedes got my damn stomach hurting, man. And, you know, I can't do crunches right now. You got my damn stomach ab muscles hurting. So I love y'all. Y'all be safe. Drink water. Stay healthy. And I will see you all more than likely tomorrow. Peace.